prophecy. And then the next verse, it starts speaking in tongues. It starts talking about tongues. As an explanation for why you should desire prophecy. And it also tells us that when we have tongues and interpretation of tongues, that's equivalent to prophecy.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of, we haven't got time to go in it now, so I'll have to give you the. But what I want to look at is, which I had this a confusion for a long time, is verse 22 and verse 23. So, remember Paul is talking to the young church. Verse 22. Thus tongues are a sign not for the believers, but for the unbelievers. So tongues is a sign for the unbeliever, is what Paul is saying there. And he's saying prophecy in the next bit is a sign for the believers. Alright, so tongues is a sign for the unbelievers, prophecy is a sign for the believers. You got those two? And then, in verse 23, it says, when the whole church comes together and all speak in tongues, and outsiders or unbelievers enter, they will say, you're out of your minds. Hang on a minute, Paul. So hang on a minute, Paul, you've just said in the previous chapter that tongues is a sign for the unbelievers. And now you're saying if the church is speaking in tongues, they'll think we're kind of crazy. And then it says in 24, if all prophesy and an unbeliever outside enters, and then he's convicted and called to account all the secret things. Falls on his face and worships God. So, what I'm trying to illustrate that verse 22 seems to contradict verse 23 and 24. And you've probably read those three verses and thought, I don't understand that. Let's just read them somewhere else. And those three verses, I could not find a minister, preacher, pastor to explain them to me.
Yes, I want a mundo, Motonia,
For years. So you're going to get the explanation. You're going to get the explanation.
ugwani wake duke.
Turn over to Isaiah 28.
Ndio kembu ni Isaya amongwele na nano. Nikana wasoma kwa wale kwa dianza ndugu la. Kwete ugwani wake. Isaya amongwele na nano.
Right. So, verse 22.
Mmoja amongwele na ile. Kundo soma.
Is sharing what it says in Isaiah 28.
Ichini kinene weneza ba yakana kina ugwani musyo. Isaya ni ungwele.
The Lord will speak to his people. For by people of strange lips and with a foreign tongue, the Lord will speak to his people.
Soma na kikamba. Soma na kikamba. Soma na kikamba.
It will be a sheer terror to understand the message.
Asoma. Kwa mlebi yake kanzibu ntibi kwa mdaka la mwisho.
Bi yake
Ebi yake asa.
nete kwasa muthenya wa utuku na kukethewa no utisio mutheu kumanya uvo usu keba ni utisio kumanya uvo usu
14.
Akorinde kwa nini mmoja ameongele na ile.
It's saying that tongues is a sign for the unbeliever.
Kwa asa kana kidio mwana kwa nona mateki ite mate yatangie.
And the reason why,
Na kitu kikila chai.
is because
Ndio kwa kweli wae.
the Israelites, the Jewish people,
Ayuti na Israeli
had this prophecy in Isaiah
na wadhaniona kunia Isaya.
that when they heard people speaking in this foreign tongue,
Ile mewi anu makena na lugha ngeni.
they would know that their Messiah had come.
Mama na kana muongoze nuoka.
And the realization was, we've just killed our Messiah.
Na kila mwaka makiwa tuyo wayi muongoze.
We've killed our Messiah.
Wayi muongoze, rabanje muongoze.
And that's why in Acts chapter 2,
Nicho kitumi meko ni mwa kwa kilungu cha keli.
the 3,000 people were saved.
Ngi anungili tatu matangi.
All right. So that it's interesting, eh? Nothing. Twice I've explained something really complicated there. Everybody's needed to listen. And then we've had a child disturb us.
Kini kirito sana ya nani wale sasa hivi yeye mara yake wale sasa hivi kwa nini ndio ndio ndio. Lakini mundu ndo mpendo tete kwa tete.
It's interesting.
Kila mundu anakuwa katienda
Because God doesn't want, not God, God does want us. The enemy doesn't want us to understand this book.
ngai sasa ndio ndio maana kile 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 ngai ndio mtu wa Biblia. Kile sasa ndio ndio maana Biblia.
So hopefully that explained that confusion in those three passages.
Hicho tu na nani asilo hicho yani masomo tu na usoma kwa kitu kwa kuelewa anataka.
Oh dear,
Right.
2 minutes. Am I alright to go on?
You have to know that.
So we're going to go back to tongues and interpretation of tongues now.
Twezi kwa nini hapo alilowa idiomo hiyo?
The Tower of Babel, at the Tower of Babel, God confused the languages. At the Tower of Babel,
Ile minda ya Babeli ngai ni wana ingi idiomo kwa yani wewe kwa mayo kwa tenisi.
and tongues
Na idiomo
is the one language
no lugha mwe
that we can all understand,
ile ndio ndio tunakuelewa.
even as Muslims.
Ona hizo mzungu wao kirene cha idiomo.
We can understand what they're saying.
No.
It's not that we understand every word that's spoken,
Ni kutaka kuelewa kila mtu anzia neno.
but what we start to understand is the essence of the message.
Ndio tu mtu tunaona hapo bana yani kila kinene wengine wa ujumbe ule unaengana kana ubora unaengana.
So it's the essence of the message. And Paul talks about when prophecies come in the church,
Paulo nene kia chazi ati ila baba ni wao kanisani. Kana chumoa.
the other prophets within the church can examine that word.
Na amanele mekwa onde anditweno muno
to see whether they whether it's from God or